Welcome. In this video, we're going to talk about law of cosine, why law of cosine works, how to prove the law of cosine, and how to apply it to solve our problems. Okay, so let's begin. Here, I already have written down the law of cosine for you. Now, it looks pretty complicated, but you don't have to memorize them all, and there is actually a way to memorize it. There's actually a way that how I memorize it. Okay, so it's not as scary. So let's first go over that. All right. For me, I actually memorized the first one. You just need to memorize one of them and understand how it works, okay? So I memorized the first one because this was most similar one to the Pythagorean theorem. Pythagorean theorem is what? C squared is equal to a squared plus b squared, right? That's the Pythagorean theorem. Look at the first one. We already have c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. Okay, good. So that works. So that's the one that I used. And then we have extra part, minus 2ab cosine of c. And this is not actually complicated. Let's dissect the equation, okay? If you notice, the c square here on the c on the left, and we have a capital letter C for the angle. So what's the angle that cosine takes? That is the angle that is opposite of the side that you have on the left. Okay, so if we have a square on the left, then we have angle A. If we have a b square on the left, then we have angle B. Okay, so they work together. The plus part is just the remaining two sides. Okay, so if we have a C on the left, then remaining two is what? A and B. If we have a on the left, remaining two sides are B and C. If you have B on the left, C and A are the remainder, right? So whatever that you are not using on the left, you square them and then just add them together. On the right, that's what you have. You always take minus 2, right? Minus 2 times the remaining two sides, right? So we have a C here, so we have A and B over here, and then we multiply AB here, okay? That's just how it always works. So when you apply it to solve your problem, just examine which is the angle that I know, or which is the angle that I want to find out, right? And then set up the equation accordingly, right, with necessary component by just simply understanding the law of cosine and just kind of memorizing the basic structure. You can just swap out any variable in and out to apply to your problem, okay? But that takes a little bit of practice, so hopefully you can do a lot of practice problems to get used to it, okay? But let's take a look why law of cosine works, okay? Why law of cosine works. I'm going to erase all that. Here I have a triangle drawn, right? Triangle ABC. Again, just like law of sine video, opposing side are labeled as lowercase abc, okay? And then the height is h, and then two extra components, x and y. That is what h divides the side AB, okay? X and y, okay? So with this, I'm going to prove why law of cosine works, okay? Now, if we look at, again, this small triangle, right? And then let's take a look at as the Pythagorean theorem. Then we have b squared is equal to x squared plus h squared, right? And if we look at this triangle right here with the Pythagorean theorem, we have a squared is equal to y squared plus h squared, right? Okay. We know that, look at the side, we know that y is equal to c minus x, right? So c minus x. So I'm going to substitute this into this one right here, okay? It gets a little bit complicated, so you have to follow carefully. This then becomes what? A squared is equal to c minus x squared plus h squared. And if you remember FOIL, right, from algebra, a squared is equal to c squared minus 2cx plus x squared plus h squared. Okay, now it's looking pretty scary, but it's not that bad, okay? Stay with me. A squared is equal to c squared minus 2cx plus x squared plus h squared, okay? Now that I'm going to use the first one here in blue, and then move the h square over to get myself b squared minus h squared is equal to x squared. Okay, and this whole thing is equal to x squared, so I'm going to plug that back into this equation. Okay, then what do I have? I have a squared is equal to c squared minus 2cx, and instead of x squared I have plus b squared minus h squared plus h squared, right? Okay, do you see how I have minus h squared and then plus h squared? So I can just kind of cancel them out like that. Yeah. Then I have what? A squared is equal to c squared minus 2cx plus b squared. Okay. Now go back to this triangle. Okay, go back to this triangle. If I say cosine, what color should I use? I'm going to use black. Okay, cosine of angle A, that's this one. So katoa, right? Cosine is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, so cosine of A is adjacent, which is x, over hypotenuse, which is b. Right? And if I solve for x, this becomes b times cosine of A is equal to x. And I'm going to take this whole thing and plug into this x right there. Okay? Then I have a new equation that gives me a squared is equal to c squared minus 2c. Instead of x, I write b cosine of A plus b squared. And if I rearrange that like how it looks in the law of cosine written over here, we're looking at the second one, this one. We get, let me write it side by side up here. A squared is equal to, I'm going to write the b squared first, plus c squared minus 2cb, so I can just change it to write bc, right? Minus 2bc cosine of angle A. And that looks exactly like the second one right here, right? And that is how we derive law of cosine. And we can do this for all three of them, okay? Not just one. I'm just going to show the one, but that's how it works, okay? So that's why law of cosine works. So let's take a look at practice problem to see how we can apply this, okay? So here, now you might, okay, first thing I have to say is you cannot solve all measurements or all triangles using just the law of sine, okay? When you only have 3 side length or SAS kind of situation, which is the second example, you have to use the law of cosine because law of sine cannot work here, okay? So here we have 3 sides and then angle in question. So we just need to simply plug it in to our law of cosine equation, right? Since that is the angle we want to find, angle C, so we have to use cosine of C, right? Then on the left side, what do we have? The opposite side length goes on the left by itself. So we have 10 squared is equal to 8 squared plus 15 squared minus 2 times 8 times 15 times cosine of angle C. Let's call it theta again, cosine of theta, right? That looks just like the equation we have, right? Okay, now we just need to solve for theta, right? And that's where we bring out our friend calculator, right? Right there. Let me turn it on, okay? Now, if you have to move 10 squared, before we punch in, we get to move, we subtract 8 squared and 15 squared, and then we do the same thing on the left. We get what? 10 squared minus 8 squared minus 15 squared is equal to minus 2 times 8 times 15 times cosine of theta. We divide everything by that, right? I'm not even going to calculate yet because I'm going to use a calculator. Then they all cancel, right? They all cancel. Then our cosine of theta is equal to 10 squared minus 8 squared minus 15 squared over minus 2 times 8 times 15. Now, to get the angle by itself, we have to use an inverse trig function, right? So we get cosine of, let me use new color, cosine, but that is the inverse. So inverse cosine of the whole thing, 10 squared minus 8 squared minus 15 squared over minus 2 times 8 times 15 is equal to the angle we want to find, right? So let's punch into our calculator, shall we? We have secant and cosine, so that gives us an inverse cosine, right? And I'm actually going to put one more parenthesis to make it sure the calculator registers all the numbers correctly. So on the top I have 10 squared, right, minus 8 squared minus 15 squared. Close the parenthesis for the numerator, and that is over division sign, another parenthesis, negative 2 times 8 times 15, close the parenthesis, and one more time for the inverse cosine, press enter. That gives me 38.04 blah blah, rounded to the nearest degree. Theta is equal to 38 degrees. Voila, that's how we solve this problem, right? The second type of problem is SAS, right? Side, angle, side, SAS. And in this case, we cannot use the law of sine either. So what do we do? Oops. Okay. What do we do? Well, with the law of cosine, we simply again plug it in, right? This is the angle that we know, and this is what we want to find out. So I'm going to call it this as a C, right? C. Then we have C is equal to, and then the remaining two sides, right? 18 square, or C square. 18 square plus 20 square minus 2. 18 times 20 cosine of angle C, which is 21 degrees. So now we just need to solve for it, right? So let me, but before that, how to get rid of square? You take a square root, take a square root of everything, they cancel each other out. Then we get C is equal to square root of 18 square plus 20 square minus 2 times 18 times 20 times cosine of 21. Wow. So let's see how that works if we were to plug that in into our calculator. Okay, there it is. Okay, so I put square root, where's the square root? Right there, square root of 18 square plus 20 square minus 2, I'm going to use a parenthesis, 2 times 18 times 20 times the cosine of 21, and close that parenthesis. Then we get 7.1987562, whatever, right? Rounded to the nearest tenth, we get C is approximately 7.2, and that is our answer for the length C. Okay, that was kind of long video, was it not? But hopefully now you understand why the law of cosine works and how to apply this to different situations to solve for our measurement. Okay, in cases when the law of sine does not work, you could use law of cosine. And then since you have law of sine and law of cosine in your arsenal, you can pick and choose which one to use depending on the situation. So now you have so much more power in your math arsenal. Okay, so good luck and have fun. Bye.